welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing a full face makeup with Miniso's makeup line. Now, if you guys are not aware, Miniso is a Japanese brand. They do very unique and different out of the regular looking items in household, stationery, skincare, makeup, I think even clothing. You would find all those unique and different products that you don't usually find in your regular stores. I was in Miniso to pick up like a few stationery items, but then I came across their makeup section and they had these very inexpensive makeup products out there. So I was like, it's a nice thing to review and test and see if these are actually worth it. I'm going to be using these for the first time myself, so whatever I'm putting on in here, it's the first time I'm actually putting up in here in front of you guys on camera. I have no idea how they are, if they're pigmented, if they're good textured, if the foundation is good, if the bronzer is good, blah blah blah. I was able to pick up everything that is required for a regular full face makeup in under 50 Canadian dollars, which I feel is a very good price, because if I go to a regular drug mart or a drugstore, I still don't think I'll be able to pick up everything full face under 50 Canadian dollars. So let's see if this works. This is definitely my next go-to drugstore brand. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I am starting with a mini Poni Miniso Shell makeup base in here. This is supposed to act as my makeup base as a primer. The shade I'm using here is in number 3 beige. This is how it is from inside to give you a more clear view. Let's try this out. It smells nice and it's got a very good texture to this primer. I don't know if they have silicone in this. It doesn't say, but I like the way it feels onto my skin. Now, depending on how the foundation sits on this, I'm going to see if I'm really happy with the base. Moving on to the foundation, the one I found in the store was the Hydrolite foundation. This one is in shade LY2. It says it's soft and comfortable texture with outstanding skin affinity, and it's rendering for a natural and long-lasting coverage. Now, I am not expecting this to be very high coverage because they are promoting it to be very natural coverage. So I am just going to go ahead and dot this onto my face. To blend this foundation, I am going to use a foundation brush today. I'm buffing this foundation into my skin. This was the closest I could find to my shade, honestly. More than finding the products, I was having issues with finding my correct shade, especially for foundation and concealer. I honestly feel that they could have had a more darker shade, like one darker shade to this tone, because this is definitely not my shade. But if I have to review the foundation, I would definitely say that it's good if you're not looking for a very heavy coverage, if you want to wear it on a daily basis, and something which just gives you a bit of coverage, like just evens out your skin tone. In terms of texture, I would say it's not too heavy on the skin, very much lightweight. The only problem I feel is that it's a little difficult to blend. So I'm using like a buffing brush in here by Real Techniques, and it's taken me quite a while to sort of like get my skin to absorb this. So I have to go over the areas a lot of times to blend the foundation in. Probably using a beauty blender or a silicone applicator might make some difference. It definitely is not a bad pick if you are looking for something which is cheap and affordable, and at the same time just serves the purpose of you just hiding some of your spots or marks. For the concealer, they do not, or probably they do keep but the store I went to, which is close to my place, they did not have any concealers which had their own makeup line. The one they did there is the LA Girl Pro Conceal. I know a lot of you know about this. I have never used this, to be honest, before, but I have heard great reviews about it. I found pure beige. I don't know how good it is. It looks pretty much okay to me. They did not have testers for the concealer there. So let's see how this works under my skin. I'm using the concealer brush, which is from Morphe. It's in number M335. So let's go ahead and buff the concealer in. I would definitely say one thing about this concealer, it's way more blendable than the foundation. I just found the foundations, probably the formula was not as blendable. Probably because it's from LA Girl, so yeah, it's not technically Miniso's own product. The texture of the concealer, it's a bit heavier, so it's somewhere between a cream and a liquid. It's a little bit thick in its texture. It's a little bit thick in its texture and a little bit tacky. Now, when I say tacky, I mean like if you touch it, you feel like there's something sticky on your face, which concealers should actually not feel like. So I don't know. In terms of shade, yes, it does match my skin tone. It's just that if it looks a bit more white, it's because of the foundation, because that's one shade lighter. In terms of blendability, this blends in really well. It's good if I'm doing like a high coverage makeup. This concealer would do a good job, is what I feel. Moving on to the powder. This one is Makeup Beauty Queen Collection Loose Powder. It's in the shade Luminous Nude. So I think they had 4 different shades in there. It's just a regular setting powder, but it's a loose powder. This is how the packaging is. They do have a sponge in here, a puff in here to apply it. I think I'm going to use this. Tap it. This is how much product it has gained. Let's see how it sets. I am impressed with this powder. I don't know if you guys can see the difference in my 2 sides here. Like so, here and here. I can absolutely feel this is way more finished, way more matte than this one. This looks more, I think, cakey and creasy. I do have to say, I am totally in love with this powder now. I think I'm going to be using this more often to set my makeup because I am so happy the way my face looks. Up to the point of the concealer, it looked more cakey, felt like there's too much heaviness on my face and that the texture is just too uneven. This has totally set it up. No creases, no uneven texture. If you guys are looking for something affordable in terms of a setting powder, I would highly recommend this one. I'm going to link everything down below with the prices, so make sure to check everything out in the description box below. Now moving on to the eyes, I picked up actually 2 eyeshadow products. One is this Extreme Access Pocket Shadow Palette. Now these are more of warm and neutral color palette. The thing that I picked up, which I also found like very unique, this is basically an eyeshadow pen. The eyeshadow shade in here, it says, is dark brown in number 3. Look at this. Just how gorgeous gold it is. It's just like a pen, you put it in and you just blend it. I am going to use this onto my eyes directly. So I'm just putting this all over my eyelids. So they have a lot of shimmer, but pigmented, I don't know. I'm not too sure about this. Let's move on to the palette that I bought. I'll take this color in here. I'm going to put this onto the crease of my eye. The color is super pigmented, better than the eyeshadow pencil. I think that's more like a top thing, like a top coat for your eyeshadows. It's taking me a lot lesser product to get me the intensity I want. I absolutely feel this palette is very, very effective, and I'm sure very much handy, and it has most of the colors that you would want to wear on an everyday basis. My eyeshadow is sort of done. The only other thing I'm going to use from the palette again in here, this shade in here. I'm going to highlight my brow bone and also put this into the tear duct area. Ooh, it's super pigmented, so make sure you are not taking a lot of quantity at once like I did. Moving on to the eyebrows, the one I picked up is Miniso Automatic Eyebrow Pencil. This is how it is, and it's in the shade number 2 dark brown. Let's see how this works on my brow. I spent a good 20 minutes to figure out the shade I want for my brows because they had shades which were extremely light for my sort of hair and skin tone. This one has pencil on one side and it's got the spoolie brush on the other. I'm totally impressed by this thing. Oh my goodness. This is one of those products from Miniso that I think has become like a treasure that I've just found out of nowhere. And this was like for under $3. I am super happy with the way my eyebrows look. The color, the brush is really good. After the pressed powder, if there's something I would really recommend is this eyebrow pencil, guys. Moving on to the eyeliner. One I am using here is Miniso's Exquisite eyeliner. That's what it says here on the tag. It says that it's smooth head, perfectly outlined the eyeline, waterproof and long lasting. It's got a very thin nib to it here. I'm assuming that it should be really great if you want to have like wings or flicks. I just find it's way too light in its color, so it's supposed to be a very dark black, but I have to go on top of it a lot of time to intensify it. Nib in here, it stays stable, it's a nice nib, but in terms of the liner, I think it's just okay. We have way better drugstore eyeliners which are better than this one. Back to my face, I am going to go ahead and bronze it up a little. I bought the So Lovely Korean style third dimension contour in shade bronze brown. This is how the packaging is. This thing comes in with a small mini contour brush in here, and in here is the bronzer. This was the darkest shade I could find, but I still feel it's going to be a little bit lighter for my skin tone. It made no difference to my skin. Not even like a tint of color. Nothing. Severely disappointed. I mean, I know it's not my shade, but I was expecting to have some sort of color out here, but no. After a very disappointing encounter with bronzer, I'm going to go and move ahead to my blush. Now, for blush, I couldn't find the blush they had. I mean, they do blushes, but they were out of stock. So instead, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a lipstick and use that as a blush. I bought the lipstick called So Chic lipstick in shade 06, which is called a nude pink. So this is the shade. I'm just gonna use a bit on both sides of my cheeks. It smells very weird though, like oil pastel crayons. I'm gonna go back to the buffing brush I used from Real Technique to blend this. Okay, not too bad. I mean, I just put it very little because I wasn't sure if it's going to be like too pink on my face, but I think I can add a bit more and I can intensify the amount of pink I need on my face. It's easily blendable, which I like. So the blush is now done. I'm gonna go ahead and use their highlighter. This is called the Flawless Mineral Highlighter and it's in the shade Pink Pearl. I think they had 4 different shades for this one. This is how it looks. I'm using Real Technique's cheek brush in here. I don't see any difference. Let me pick up a little bit more. It's not very pigmented. It's not like a sleek highlighter, but it's got a little texture to it, which I actually don't like with highlighters because I feel it ruin the overall texture of your face. So I'm not sure if this is a good highlighter. If you are in Miniso, don't bother to pick up their Flawless highlighters, not worth the money. Moving on to mascara. This one's called the Eye Charm Mascara to sweep out the volume and maximize your eyes. This is how it looks. I am never happy with mascaras anyway because I feel none of the mascaras can lift my lashes up, but you never know. Before I go ahead and put on the mascara, I would be using the Miniso's eyelash curler that I picked it up. They do curl them really well. It's got the regular bristle. I like the mascara. I wouldn't say it's like a miracle because it's lifting up my lashes and stuff because I did curl them before, but I like the way it glides on. I like that it's not tacky. The consistency is really nice, and the color majorly, which is supposed to be dark black, it's totally that. A mascara from Miniso is definitely a thumbs up for me. Now the last thing here is the lips. This one is in shade Cherry Red and it's just called a Miniso Queen Collection lipstick. This is the shade. Now let's see how pigmented and what texture it is. It's matte, really like the way it glides on, and super pigmented. It's got a matte effect, but it doesn't dry out my lips. It's super moisturizing, and one of my rarest finds again because this just was for $1.45. And they had, I think, 4 shades in there. Absolutely amazing. So this is the final look with all the Miniso products that I used. Now, I would rate these products in 3 different categories. First would be my star products. I would really recommend that if you can find, go get your hands on it because they are amazing. You know the products I'm talking about? The eyebrow pencil, the makeup base, this gorgeous setting powder, eyelash curler, and the mascara. Oops! Lipstick as well. These are the products I would say go get your hands on it because these are really worth all the money that you're putting in for your makeup. Definitely recommended. Next are the products in the category which are not too good or not too bad for me. They were like okay. They might probably not even work for your skin, or they probably even might. So based on my opinion and my tests and review, I would say the highlighter is like okay. I mean, it has still given me some highlights, but the product has to be applied way more than it's supposed to. So again, I would rather use it if I don't have any highlighter in the world. Next thing would be the foundation. Definitely not my shade. They did not have anything darker than this, but has issues with blending. It's not for people who are looking for high coverage. The other one is going to be the palette. Now, I was happy with the way the crease color turned out, but then now I'm looking onto my face and my eyes. I think they have started to turn black. That could be because the color is not staying in there. So if you really are looking for something which is affordable, or if you are very new into makeup, or you have just started to do your makeup and you want to try, probably I would say only then purchase it. Other thing was the concealer. Now, I know a lot of people have raved about this one, but personally for me it has not worked, especially on this foundation. It could work if I'm doing a very high coverage makeup look or something which has a very glam sort of look to it, but definitely not with this foundation as the base. Super blendable, I would say. It's really good to blend, but it's a little thick in its texture. So if you're somebody who has a lot of creases under the eye, or somebody who is not used to thick textured concealers, I would say then this is not for you. Next thing that was just okay for me, the lipstick, one that I used as the blush. Now, it is super pigmented. It's a very good color, but only if I want to use it as a blush. I'm not sure if it's that pigmented to be used as a lipstick. For me, this product was just okay. I mean, I have had better blushes than this, and I have had better lipsticks than this. And it's got a very weird smell to it, which for some reason I just don't like it. Now, the product that I was highly disappointed with, I would not recommend, are these three things. The bronzer, it has no 0% tint to it. It's just like powder with no color. Definitely not worth any money. The eyeshadow pen, I know a lot of people would argue that this could still work as shimmer, but trust me, I still feel it's not that great. I was not happy with this purchase. Lastly, the product which disappointed me was the eyeliner. It's supposed to be waterproof, it's supposed to be long lasting. I can actually see them coming down onto my inner corners, which means they are not good in its formulation. When I was applying, I could feel that I have to go over it a lot of times to get that black color, and it felt like a little watery, not worth the buy. So now you know the products that I absolutely love, the products I don't like at all, and the products which I could just make do with. Overall, I would say this whole first impression for me was just okay. The eyebrows and lipstick is something I'm totally loving it. But other than that, I think we have better products available in the market. So guys, this was it for the video today. I hope you enjoyed watching my first impression / review for the Miniso products. Now, if this is something you guys enjoy watching, let me know in the comments or give this video a thumbs up so I know you are enjoying and I can come up with more of tried and tested series. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so, because there are so many interesting videos I'm working on which are due to come in the upcoming weeks. Thank you so much. I'm going to see you all in my next video. Until then, lots of love.